Hi, this is Tiffany Grant, and I played Asuka, Asuka Langley Soryu. Hey, is that you over there, Hyuga?
No, this is the voice of your conscience. Now, who are we kidding? You don't have a conscience.
No.
It's why you were absolutely perfect for the role. Okay, yes, this is
It's the opening sequence with the floating naked rays. Woo!
Yeah, there's a lot of those going around.
Just one of the many reasons why this was never broadcast on regular U.S. television.
Oh, I don't think it's any worse than, say, a James Bond opening. But I think there were a lot of other reasons it wasn't broadcast on regular television. It just really would not sell a whole lot of, pudding pops or...
If you edited out all the objectionable content, you could show the whole series as like 1/2 hour show.
Sadly true by the standards.
Oh, there's blood! There's blood!
Okay,
oh, no!
Can we cut out those religious references?
Yeah, I think we should. Hey, yay! It's Asuka. Woo! Hey, this is like the best opening theme song ever, Cruel Angel's Thesis.
Yes, I know you can sing it in Japanese.
Yes, I can. It is one of the few songs I know all the way through in Japanese. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
But the episode we're doing is kind of a pivotal one for Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
It's when basically we start really seeing exactly how attracted to Kaji she is.
Kaji's dreamy.
So do you remember anything at all about recording these episodes? It's been so long.
I probably will remember something when it gets to a part that I'm in. I don't remember too much about Tristan's recording session because I wasn't there.
Which is true because people don't think about it, but everyone back then was recording very separately. You would come in, record 1 or 2 episodes, and you might occasionally run into someone who was recording on the show coming in after you. But
Right. We didn't really see the other actors very much. I think one interesting thing that I've pointed out many times to people is I did not know Spike Spencer at all when we first started doing this show. I've gotten to know him somewhat since then, but I really didn't know him. I had no idea what he even looked like. And towards the end of the recording of this series, I remember, starting to run into him a couple times and see him and kind of say, hello, hi, how you doing? And I actually, Aaron Crone, as the very dreamy Kaji, I didn't really know Aaron either. I had met him like one time for 2 minutes, so I was oohing and ahhing over someone I didn't even know.
And of course, that's actually Laura Chapman.
I was just going to say, here, Laura.
Yeah, this is very early for her. She had done Battle Angel at this point, and of course, she eventually turns to have she's got a much larger part in Ava.
Yeah, because she's Dr. Akagi. Mm-hmm. She's Ritsuko's mom, right. So creator of the Magi.
Now, I think what's interesting about this scene is that the cats are eating cheese doodles, which I don't understand. But
I think cats would eat cheese doodles.
They might. But no, is that we see Kaji really trying to mine for these details, and in retrospect, we realize he is being funneled down a path.
Yeah, ought to do it. I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Her trying to manipulate Kaji and coming to her rescue. That was the thing, is we
really start to seeing the whole manipulations, which, of course, in the director's cut, they come out a little bit more. But at this point, it's really starting to realize that it's more than just a schoolgirl crush. I mean, Asuka's got some serious fixations going on here. She does.
And she's very concerned that he's not been available to see her lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she really hasn't considered Misato a rival up until this point. Of course, by the end of this episode, she realizes Misato is more than just a rival.
Mm-hmm. I think that she really, truly was not aware of their relationship. And, well, when she was with Kaji in Germany. And she'd also known Misato from Germany separately, but didn't really know their past history together.
They weren't there together at the same time, so it was kind of first there's one and then there's the other. So in her mind, they're separate things, and the whole relationship, even though it's been bantered around in front of her before, it's kind of like, oh, they're just joking. It's nothing there. And,
or it's all in the past, and that's ancient history, and now it's my turn. Sad delusions, but Asuka really was quite fond of him. And speaking of being fond of, I just love the character of Misato. I think she's great.
Well, this is a phenomenal episode for Allison. I think really it's probably the best episode for her as an actor. At the end, where she kind of just lets it all come down. It was a very difficult scene. We'll talk about that more when we get there. But I think that, again, this is really the point where a lot of the secrets of the characters are starting to come out.
One of the famous elevator sequences. They love to do these elevator sequences.
At least they're talking in this one.
Yeah,
it's not
blah,
the
blah,
da,
blah.
da, 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 da.
It's just whining. Big whiner. Oh, yeah, my father doesn't love me. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut your mouth.
Yeah, it's interesting how you have never liked Shinji as a character. Just from day one, you've always just...
No, I don't like it very much. Especially after the movies, but that's a different story. No, not real fond of...
Okay, now that's an odd thing to tell someone. He says, basically, well, when you were wringing out the cloth, it reminded me of a mother. And it's just kind of like, okay... Shinji, he does have some issues going on here.
Doesn't have really a way with women. Of course, there's a reason that probably reminds him of a mother, but we'll leave that for some other day. My favorite penguin! Yay!
Oh, Misato!
With some med student.
Lavender perfume? No, Nini.
I always think of this as the lavender perfume episode, actually.
Ever since he got home, I don't think he wants to...
And, I'll talk about it later when we get to that particular sequence, but...
Well, you probably want to presage it a little bit now.
Well, she...
There's very little left after that scene, so...
Well, yeah, but it's just that she knows that that's a very special item, and so that would be a big deal to, go on a date and borrow the lavender perfume.
Yeah, the whole fact that she's going on a date with this guy she doesn't even want to go on a date with, it's like, okay, we've never really gotten any hint that Asuka dates or anything like that. It suddenly comes in out of the blue. And so you start realizing these characters really don't have much of a social life. I mean, we expect that with Shinji.
Right, because all he does is lay in his bed and whine. Big whiner.
But, Asuka is the most popular girl in school.
That's right. You should appreciate your good fortune.
And it's kind of like, but she really doesn't say she's got the one friend in Hikari, and other than that, it's kind of like,
of course, at the time when Asuka has the famous line about being the most popular girl in the school, it was because, she was new, she was a transfer student, and let's face it, she's hot. And the guys were checking her out. And Pen Pen was voiced by...
Amanda Winley.
Yep. Like to point that out. This background stuff is pretty darn funny, actually.
Yes.
Little boy Blue is late. That oversexed idiot's never been on time in his whole lazy life.
Can we talk about Su'ulu a little bit? She's was really great as
I think this is a section where she's really shining. Sue's cattiness as Ritsuko, especially when you realize what she's actually saying later. It's the perfect foil for Allison, who's got the kind of brittle edge, wearing everything on her sleeve, and then Kaji with the total unctuousness, I really like this little scene here. It's one of the few cases where you really feel there's some humanity in Gendo, and you get a better idea of what's driving him.
That's when I ran away.
I mean, he's still a bastard, but...
Well, that would go without saying. but it's one of the few times you ever see them together any place.
Well, when one of them's not, yelling at the other.
I mean, normally the only times they're ever sort of together is at Nerve headquarters, but then they're not really together, because Gendo is up in his throne.
Right, and it's over a radio, or there's a sheet of glass between them. There's always a separation. It's one of the very few times when there's actually a coming together, and then, of course, it ends with Gendo being whisked away just as there's the hint of something. And here we go, speaking of being whisked away.
He's leaving now. They've been there for 4 seconds. That's enough. Father and son time. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
And wait a minute. Who was that in the transport?
Yeah, well,
Was that Wonder Girl? And bye-bye. And then, how does Shinji get home now? Or whatever. He's just stranded out in a cemetery. Okay, bye-bye. See ya. And it's the midpoint. Those women longed for the touch of others' lips. Something kisses. I always think this is interesting, the whole cello thing. It's never really touched on that much. You don't see him going for lessons or anything.
Well, he doesn't take them. He actually talks about it. He says that, he took lessons when he was younger, and he keeps doing it because no one's told him not to do it anymore, and he acknowledges that he's not very good. In fact, I think that's what they're talking about right here.
I have a figure with her wearing that dress.
You have a figure of her wearing just about everything, and a couple of cases of her wearing not much at all.
Yeah, I don't have any naked ones.
So why didn't you?
Are you sure about that?
Nobody told me to stop. Yes, I do not have any naked pornographic Asuka figures. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
My date was even more boring than you, she says.
Yes.
I mean, you notice this is a fairly...
Real man in my life.
Oh, yes, a real man. That outfit is pretty conservative compared to some of the other things she wears. Makes me wonder what she might wear if she was going someplace with Kaji.
I don't even want to think about it. It's rather scary.
Like the scene when they go shopping for the bathing suits and she's showing him the skimpy two-piece.
Yes.
Sometimes you just have to drink to keep yourself under control.
Yeah. Kaji is a very interesting character, though, because he's very multifaceted. And you think he's just this easygoing guy without a care in the world and very irresponsible, but there's so much more going on.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually extremely responsible, and the whole thing is just this guise he puts on. But I do like you talking about Sue and just Ritsuko in general. It's just her body language here is wonderfully animated, and Sue picked up on that wonderfully.
Doom battles aren't my style.
I think you still have.
Absolutely.
What about you?
Oh, I don't like to talk.
And interesting, their little behind-the-scenes conversation that's going on while Misato is mysteriously away somewhere.
Oh, she's in the bathroom.
Well,
Yeah, it's not mysterious. We know exactly what she's doing.
but it seems like...
Except that she's powdering her nose.
And that she's been gone a long time, we get the feeling.
Well, should I buy you some fireworks?
Hello.
Yeah, one thinks that he might have actually known that she was approaching when he made that remark.
Just a little wee tad.
Yeah, now what was that she put in her purse there?
It's explained in the episode.
I think that lives is composed of these two conflicting forces.
Like men and women.
I'll just be taking my...
Well, it is one of the few times that you actually see them wearing different clothes.
Well, that's true. And if you want to talk
Except for
about characters...
Kaji.
Well, yeah. But
He only has one outfit.
he really only does have one outfit.
It's me.
I think he's got a closet full of all those. I mean, it's very... He kind of just blends in. He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Misato?
Yeah. She'll be late, so don't wait up for her.
Uh-huh.
What? You mean she won't be back until tomorrow morning?
I doubt it. She's
Look at all the booze.
Teasing.
That's a definitely reputable place to be bringing up children.
Yes.
Drinking till you throw up. How old are you?
Yeah. This actually turns into a really sweet scene.
It is. It's like I said, I really it was an interesting one to direct because the way we did it is we started with Allison, and I think she got about halfway through, and it just wasn't completely gelling. And then we got Aaron came in and did his lines, and then once he was there, she could play off of him for the back half. And I think we actually ended up having him come back in and tweak a few lines. It was a really, really critical scene as far as the character relationships go, and especially in terms of what happens over the next couple of episodes, is that we see a lot of the barriers that have been there broken down.
Just like my father.
I remember it was really hard back in those days doing the lip sync because the lipstick that Misato's wearing in the scene and the resolution of the old Avid systems we were using then, you would just get this kind of blob that was sort of pulsating, and you weren't really sure if the mouth was open or not. And it ended up that it actually ended up being quite close. We actually went ahead and let the lip sync go a little loose on this because the feel was so much more important. So I think that...
Well, and it's a lot of dialogue to get out. If I don't know how much viewers appreciate that's very difficult when you have a really long passage to deliver, and then it falls just a little bit short or a little bit too long or something.
One of the few swear words that actually dropped in, the don't bullshit me, Kaji. Just realizing that,
Well, it's just like right now.
she wouldn't say don't joke with me or anything, and she would pretty much call it.
Yeah.
I have no right to be Shinji's guardian. Look at me.
And this part here where they're cutting each other off was really... It was just... That's why we had to kind of do it in passes, because they had to have something to play off of.
Use you because I'm a coward. I'm pathetic.
It's a great scene.
In case you're wondering how we do that, is the actors just literally kiss the back of their hand. You get a real nice smothered effect.
Yeah, you don't
And it's
actually
trying
have
to get
anybody
that
else in the
time.
booth to kiss.
Well, you could. They'd be in between you and the microphone. But it's always one of those interesting... We get these scenes that are quite intimate sounding, and yet it's actually an actor. Oh, and
One of my
there's...
favorite scenes of all time.
Yeah, I mean...
The "Hey Shinji, do you want to kiss me?" Because I got nothing better to do. Oh, I got nothing else to do. That's pretty close for me remembering that from 6 or 7 years ago.
Well, what it obviously implies is that, she's curious, because has she ever been kissed before?
Well,
Not that way.
probably not.
Yeah, despite
And
these
then
dates
this-
with med students.
The bit about his mother, that really kind of put me off a little bit trying to deliver that. Actually, I remember this part that's upcoming very vividly.
Again, both of you now actually kissing the back of your hands.
Yeah.
And this was great because Spike really was holding his breath this long to get the right sound effects. He did not completely turn blue, but...
And here comes Pin Pin. Erk.
Okay, whatever.
Here's Spikes.
I'll get a beer.
There are Spikes still all these breath. The best penguin in the world, Pin Pin. And this is the part I remember.
Yeah.
That gargling, I almost choked myself to death. I always have a bottle of water, but I got a cup so that I could spit it out. And I remember doing the gargling and then trying to spit, and I was just laughing.
Yeah. I also point out this is some really amazing work here because as they stumble in the door, they're supposed to sound drunk, but at the same time, they're having to hit marks on this, which is a very difficult thing to do to sound out of control.
Uh-oh. And my line is coming up. Because she comes right up next to him, and so she can smell him. And she says... Lavender perfume. Actually, I've gotten a few emails from people that couldn't hear or understand
Yeah,
what
in the
I
original
said.
mix, in the stereo mix, it's really hard to hear. I think it's a lot cleaner now that it's in 5.1.
That's because you kissed me, you jerk!
And everything is, of course, Shinji's fault.
It's
is.
always Shinji's fault, poor guy, but he's an idiot, so it's okay. But since he has got this smell of lavender perfume all over him, she knows that Misato must have been pretty up close to Kaji for a long time.
Okay, and now things start to get really weird. It's like, okay, what exactly are they doing? It's where we really start to get an idea of just how weird and creepy this whole thing is getting.
Flashback. 7 years ago, this happened. LCL plant. Do we...
LCL is the liquid that's...
I know what it is, but what does it stand for? I know that's what they are floating in inside of their plug.
Oh, goodness gracious. If I had my notes with me, I could tell you.
That's okay. I just can't remember.
And the other would appear to be a spy for the Japanese government.
So you knew.
Don't underestimate nerve.
Was this ordered by Ikari?
No, my...
This was another thing that was a real pain. If you're watching this on a computer monitor or a really, really widescreen TV, you'll see that there's some lip flaps of errands that are right there at the side of the screen. And on our old systems, we really couldn't see them. We had to kind of guesstimate where those things were.
Interesting.
And we actually got it pretty close. But when we did the remix, we had to kind of move things around a little bit to actually hit exactly where it was.
Is it an Ava?
And this is 7 years ago. This isn't 7 years ago.
No, this is currently.
Right.
Point of everything. This is Adam.
The flashback to Ray, that was 7 years ago.
You're right, Kaji. I don't know.
What was 7 years? I don't know.
I don't know nerve at all.
Okay, I'm sorry, you lost me on that one.
They did it. They did a shot where they were showing 2008, and right now it's 2015. So I was trying to figure out which part of it was in 2008. That's all. In the flashback. And here's one of the many, many renditions of the song I like to call Fry Me to the Moon. With the floating, twirling naked Ray.
Well, of course, you know.
Yeah, I'm afraid this song has never been quite the same for me since this series.
It definitely takes on a lot of different meanings. So really, from this point on, the entire tone of this series is going to get a lot more introspective and personal. So it's always been one of my personal favorite episodes because I really think that this is where everyone completely clicks in and we know exactly where they're coming from as everything kind of rolls towards the climax.
Yes, so I guess stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.